Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, you are welcome. My name is Anita Phone, and if you haven't subscribed, kindly subscribe, hit the notification bell to get notified each and every time I upload a new tutorial on my channel. If you're a old member, you are welcome back. Thank you for coming back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you on how to cut and sew this bodice pencil dress. So if you want to know how I'll go about it, keep on watching. And this is my own look, and if you notice from the pictures, you notice that the fabric is stretchy, but I could not get a stretchy jean. I went ahead and get a normal jean, then I added up that for the fitting to come out well. So if you want to know how we'll be cutting and sewing this, let's go ahead and do so. First thing I did was to go ahead and draw a straight line, which is going to be the shoulder line. Then I'll take just mark the neck deep and the neck width of 3 by 3 inch for now. After doing so, I'm going to go ahead now, take my shoulder measurement divided by 2. Mine is 14. 14 divided by 2 is going to give me 7. I'll slant it down by 1 inch for the shoulder slant. I'm going to move now to my armhole deep, which is 7.5 inch. If you don't know how to get the armhole deep, go ahead and divide around your bust by 6, then you add 1.5 inch to it. Then now we're going to connect those points up. After doing so, I'll measure up whatever I have from here to here and divide it by 2, which is 7.5 divided by 2 is going to give me 3.075. I'm going to go in by a half inch. When I'm done doing so, I'll just put 1/4 of my bust. Around my bust is 34. 34 divided by 4 is going to give me 8.5. I'll go ahead now to mark and I'll connect that up like this. The next thing I'm going to do is to measure from my shoulder to my bust point, which is 10 inch, from my shoulder to my under bust, which is 14 inch, and from my shoulder to the half length. My half length is normally 15, but I'll be adding 1 inch for joining the top to the skirt. Then I'll go ahead and connect it up. I'll take my nipple to nipple measurement, which is 8 inch. I'll divide that by 2. 8 divided by 2 is going to give me 4. I will mark and connect it up with a straight line. After doing so, I'm going to be creating my dart of 1 inch both sides, 1 inch, and then I'll come here at the under bust. I'll mark 1 inch to the left and 1 inch to the right. Then I'll come on my bust point line. I'm going to go down by 1 inch. Then I'll connect it up like this. I'll do the same thing to the other side as well. Next thing I'm going to do is to come on my chest line. I'll go up by 1 inch and connect it up like so. After doing so, I'm going to go ahead now to mark 1 inch both sides as well, like so, and I'll do the same thing here. Then I will go ahead now to connect that up. I'll do the same thing here, like this. After connecting that up, you can choose now to get a sweetheart neckline, or you just go ahead and connect it straight. But me, I'm going to be using it straight. If you check the design, you notice that there's no sweetheart design there. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut it straight. Then I'm going to come here. I'll go down by 3/4 inch. Then I'll just connect that point up like this. You see what I've done there? Next thing I will do now is to go ahead. I'll put 1/4 of my bust. Around my bust is 34. 34 divided by 4 is going to give me 8. I will mark that up. I'll come on my under bust. I'll put 1/4 of my under bust, which around my under bust is 30. 30 divided by 4 is going to give me 7.5. Then I'll replace back that dark allowance. I'll come to the length. I'm going to put 1/4 of my waist. Around my waist is 28. 28 divided by 4 is going to give me 7, sorry. Then I'll be adding back that allowance. After doing so, I'll just go ahead to connect that up like this. Then we'll go ahead now to cut that up. After cutting, we'll go ahead now to make up the back. To make the back is very easy and simple. You just need to get one, that's the center side front. You just place it up like this. I go ahead and connect the length. Then we'll take the nipple to nipple measurement and divide that by 2 like we did for the front, which is 8. 8 divided by 2 is going to give me 4. I'll mark that up. Then I'm going to go ahead and add on my dart of I will add my dart of 3/4 inch, 3/4 inch both sides. Then I'll go ahead to connect it all the way like this, like so. I'll go ahead now to put 1/4 of my bust. Round my bust is 34. 34 divided by 4 is going to give me 8.5. I'll come here and put 1/4 of my waist. I will mark 1/4 of my waist, which is 7 inch, right, like we did for the front. Then I'll be adding my zipper allowance. Then I'll mark that up, and I decided to go in. I just mark exactly, that's the 1/4 of the bust without adding any allowance to it. This is what I have, and this is what I have at the waist here. So what I'm going to do is I'll go ahead now to add my 1 inch for my zipper allowance. After doing so, I'm just going to measure up whatever I have and divide that by 2, which is 8.025. I'll go ahead to fold up my tape like that, mark up the center, and then from the center I'm going to go in by 1/2 inch. After going in by 1/2 inch, I'll just go ahead to connect it up like so. We're going to be cutting this up, and we will move to the cutting of the skirt. Level it up so you should know when you are joining them up. For my skirt, I just went ahead and grabbed up the fabric which I'm going to be using for it is the jean. I just marked the straight line which is going to be the guideline. After marking that up, I measure from that waistline all the way down the hip deep line, which is 8 inch. I mark it up, and here I'm placing 1/4 of my waist. Then I'll be adding 1 inch for the dart and 1 inch for the sewing allowance. I'll come here, put 1/4 of my hip. Around my hip is 36. 36 divided by 4 is going to give me 9 inch. 9 inch. I'll add 1 inch for the sewing allowance. Once I'm done doing so, I'm just going to go ahead now to mark the nipple to nipple measurement, which was 8 divided by 2 is going to give me 4. I'll mark the center, then I'm going to create my dart of 1/2 inch both sides, just like this. Once we're done doing so, I'll just move down to 4.5 inch. Then I'm going to connect this up like so. Now I'll just go ahead to connect it all the way straight downward. But since we want it to be a little bit pencil, we're going to measure up whatever I'll have there, which is 10, and then you minus 1 inch from there. Then we'll just connect it all the way to the downer part. If you want it to be more pencil, you go ahead and minus 1.5 inch from there. Then after doing so, I just went ahead to cut it. We'll be using the front to cut the back. Okay, the only difference is you'll be adding 1 inch for your zipper allowance for the back of the skirt. So I went ahead and cut off my piece already while adding my sewing allowance. Remember, I did not add it when I was drafting up this pattern. Okay, and I also cut my small lining, and I cut my skirt as well. Like I said, the difference between the skirt is just the zipper allowance for the back pattern. So I'll just go ahead now and open up. Then I'll be picking that number 1 and number 2. I'll pin it up together like this. Pin it up, then I'll pick the other side. That's the center front. I'll be pinning it up to the side front. After pinning that up, I'll pick now the number 3 of it. I'm going to go ahead and pin it up like this. Once I'm done pinning number 3, I'm going to pick number 4, and I'm going to pin that up like so. I'll also do the same thing to my lining. Once we're done pinning, we'll take it to our machine. We're going to stitch that up. I'll also be pinning up my skirt, the dart of my skirt. Okay. I'll pin that up, so when I go to the machine, I'll just stitch everything as one. So I'll go ahead now and stitch that 3/4 inch of allowance that I added. I will take it back. Once you're done stitching it, you can take it to the ironing board, press it up to lay everything smooth. Then you overlock it or you zigzag it. Whatever you decide to do is up to you. So I went ahead and stitched everything. As you can see, what I did for my lining was to go ahead and hem that downer part because I do not have enough piece. I should have made one full lining, and this is what it's looking like without no cup inside. You can see the way the thing just came out. Next thing we're going to do is to grab up our lining. We'll be pinning it up to the top. Right side, make sure you place right side facing each other. You go ahead and pin that up. After pinning it up, I'll join the side seams of the skirt. I'll pin right side facing each other. I'm going to go ahead and join that up. Then after joining it up, I'm going to take it now to the machine. I'll be stitching that up. Now what I'm going to do for the top is I'll be flipping this. Look at what I'm doing here. I'll flip this up like this towards the lining. I'm going to top stitch there. This way, when we'll iron everything inside, the lining will go inside, will not kind of be claiming up. Okay. After doing so, go ahead to press it up. Look at how the thing is looking like. There's no cup, nothing. The thing is coming out very, very well, and the cup, like I said, the space for our breast to fall in is really there, you see. Now I'll just go ahead to notch out the center. I'm also going to notch the center of the skirt. Then I'll be joining the center to center together and pin that up. I'll take the top now. I'll be placing right side facing each other, and I'm going to place it up like this, and I'll pin it all the way to the other side. When I'm done pinning that up, I'll just take it to the machine. I'm going to stitch 1 inch away because that's what I added for my allowance. When I'm done stitching it, I'll remove my pin, then go ahead and trim up the excess, then I'll overlock it up. You can zigzag it. If you don't have overlock, just go ahead and zigzag that up. When we are done doing so, I'll just go ahead and press everything up. As you can see, everything matches up, and I'm so happy the lines matches up. Okay, now what I'm going to do is to go ahead. I'll just be folding up the back like this. So you go ahead now, measure up where you want the zipper to end. You just mark that up, and then from the downer part of the skirt, that's from the length, you measure 13 inch. You stitch from that part all the way to that 13 inch. You end and top stitch. I'm sorry that part you could not get. I could not show you. That's because I don't know what happened. I don't really know what happened. I cannot explain. So after stitching, that's what it looked like. Then you just go ahead and press that up. I'm marking where my zipper is going to end. So I'm going to use an invisible zip for this. I'll just go ahead now. I'll pin right side of my zipper facing the right side. That's the outer side, the right side of my top facing the right side of my dress. I'll just pin that up, then I'm going to take it to the machine and we go ahead and stitch that up. And remember, this is an invisible zip. If you install it well, nobody is going to know that your dress is having a zipper. Look, I'm taking my time to pin that up. So I'll be using my invisible foot. I've just set it on. I'll just go ahead and stitch that on. Then when I get to where I mark, I will stop. Then I'm going to stitch the other side as well. then we've stitched the zipper. This is what I was saying, that if you put your zip where, they will not even know that your dress is having up a zip. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'll press that on later. I'll go ahead now, I'm going to flip this inside, then I'll take the lining, I'll cover it up with the lining like this, pin that up, then I'll go ahead now to use my normal zipper foot. I'll be stitching this up with my normal zipper foot. Okay, I'll go ahead now, stitch that up like this. Oop. Once you're done stitching, just go ahead. First of all, you're going to turn it up to see if everything is nice, then you can go ahead and trim off the excess. All right, now I'm satisfied of what I have. I'll go ahead now to trim off the excess of it. After trimming the excess, I went ahead to press everything. Now press everything up. Now you can use your sewing machine here to tack it up, or you use your hemming gum, press it up with a steam iron so the lining will be able to stick to the main piece. And then the next thing I'm going to do is to hem the downer part. I'll just go ahead and fold up or measure up where I want to hem. Then I'll go ahead and get my hemming gum. I'm just going to cut it up like this, prepare my iron. I'm going to place it up like this. As you can see, I'm going to place it right where I want the hemming to end. Okay, like so. I'll just place it inside. Then I'm going to get my steam iron and press that on top. That will stick to it. I'll continue doing so till I get to the end. And when you're done pressing this part, the wrong side, you're also going to press the right side. I hope you find this tutorial helpful. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like, comment, and share. I hope to see you on our next DIY. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.